Hello there, friends. Dr. Robert Williams here, welcoming you to another episode focused on keeping you strong, mobile, and pain free as you navigate these golden years. Today, we're addressing something critically important that affects every single one of us over 65: exercise safety and effectiveness. Did you know that according to the Centers for Disease Control, falls remain the leading cause of injury among older Americans? In fact, every 11 seconds, an older adult is treated in the emergency room for a fall-related injury, and at every 19 minutes, an older adult dies from a fall. That's not just alarming, it's heartbreaking, especially when many of these incidents could be prevented with proper knowledge and training. But here's what's more concerning. A recent study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that nearly 65% of seniors are actually performing exercises that might be doing more harm than good. They're following outdated advice or routines designed for much younger bodies, and they're putting themselves at risk without even realizing it. I know many of you are thinking, but Dr. Williams, I've been doing these exercises for years. I hear you. Change isn't easy when something feels familiar. But that's exactly why I created the Healthy Aging Daily channel. After 30 years as a geriatric physical therapist, I've seen too many preventable injuries that resulted from well-intentioned but misguided exercise routines. My promise to you today is simple. I'll explain everything in plain English with practical demonstrations you can follow. No complicated medical jargon, no impossible movements. Just honest, science-backed advice that you can trust and apply immediately. So grab a glass of water, find a comfortable seat, and let's discover the 3 exercises you should absolutely avoid and the 3 powerful movements that could transform your mobility, balance, and strength for years to come. Before we dive into specific exercises, let's take a moment to understand what's actually happening in your body as you age. Knowledge is power, my friends. Think of your joints like the hinges on a door that's been opening and closing for decades. Over time, the protective cushioning, what doctors call cartilage, naturally wears down. It's like the padding in your favorite chair getting thinner after years of use. This doesn't mean you can't move. It just means you need to move differently. Your muscles change too. If you've noticed that it's harder to maintain strength or that you lose muscle more quickly if you take a break from activity, you're not imagining things. After 50, we naturally lose about 1 to 2% of our muscle mass each year unless we actively work to maintain it. I like to explain it to my patients this way. Your muscles are like a savings account. If you don't make regular deposits through proper exercise, the balance keeps dropping. And then there's balance. Your balance system involves your inner ear, your vision, and sensors throughout your body that tell your brain where you are in space. With age, all 3 of these systems undergo changes. It's like trying to drive a car when the alignment is slightly off. You can still get where you're going, but you need to make adjustments and pay closer attention. Understanding these changes isn't meant to discourage you. Quite the opposite. When you know what's happening, you can work with your body instead of against it. The right exercises respect these changes while building the exact strength and stability you need now. So let's move on to the exercises you should avoid and why they might be causing more harm than good, despite their popularity. I know, we've all been told since gym class that sit-ups are the gold standard for abdominal strength. But here's the truth. Traditional sit-ups and crunches put enormous strain on your lower back and neck. When you do a sit-up, you're essentially bending your spine repeatedly under pressure. For younger bodies, this might be manageable. But for our spines that have experienced decades of wear and tear, it's like repeatedly bending a credit card at the same spot. Eventually, something has to give. Studies from Stuart McGill, a leading spine biomechanist, have shown that the repeated flexion of sit-ups can actually accelerate disc degeneration. And if you already have osteoporosis or osteopenia, the pressure on potentially fragile vertebrae poses an unnecessary risk. What's more concerning is that traditional sit-ups don't even effectively target the core muscles that actually help with everyday function and balance. They primarily work the hip flexors, muscles that are often already tight in older adults who spend time sitting. So please, if you're still doing sit-ups because that's what you've always done, today is the day to let them go. I promise we'll cover much safer, more effective alternatives shortly. Next on our not recommended list are heavy overhead presses, whether with dumbbells, barbells, or machines. These are exercises where you push weight directly overhead. Here's why these can be problematic. As we age, many of us develop some degree of shoulder impingement, a condition where the space inside your shoulder joint narrows. When you press weight overhead, especially heavy weight, you're essentially squeezing already tight spaces even further, potentially pinching delicate tendons and causing inflammation and pain. Additionally, many seniors have some degree of kyphosis, that slight forward rounding of the upper back. When you try to press weights overhead with this posture, it forces your lower back to overarch to compensate, which can lead to back pain and injury. I've treated countless patients who believed they were strengthening their shoulders only to end up with rotator cuff tears and chronic pain. The worst part? Many continued through the pain, thinking it was just part of getting a good workout. Remember this: exercise should never cause sharp pain. Challenging your muscles feels different than injuring your joints. If you're experiencing pain during or after your workout, that's your body sending an important message. The third exercise I recommend avoiding is deep squats, particularly loaded ones with weights, but even body weight versions can be problematic for many seniors. Deep squats, where your hips descend below your knees, place tremendous stress on your knee joints. If you already have any degree of arthritis in your knees, these deep positions can accelerate wear and tear on the joint surfaces. But it's not just your knees at risk. Deep squats also increase pressure on the vertebral discs in your lower back. And for those with hip replacements or hip arthritis, the extreme ranges of motion can cause impingement and pain. What makes this particularly tricky is that squats themselves are actually a fundamental human movement. We need to be able to sit down and stand up. That's a form of squat. The problem isn't the squatting motion itself, it's the depth and the added resistance. I've had patients tell me, but my grandson squats with 300 pounds at the gym, so I thought I should do squats too. While I admire the enthusiasm, we need to acknowledge that different bodies have different needs at different stages of life. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, well, what can I do? Don't worry, I'm about to share the exercises that will give you all the benefits without the risks. These are the movements that my most successful patients perform regularly, and they see remarkable improvements in strength, balance, and overall function. Instead of those risky sit-ups, let me introduce you to the plank, the true gold standard for core strength at any age, but especially for seniors. The plank engages not just your abdominal muscles, but your entire core system, front, sides, and back. This is crucial because a strong, balanced core is your foundation for nearly every movement, from getting out of bed to reaching for something on a high shelf. And here's the beautiful thing about planks: they can be modified to any fitness level. If getting on the floor isn't an option for you right now, you can start with a standing plank against the wall. Stand about arm's length from a wall, place your palms flat against it at shoulder height, and hold your body in a straight line. For those comfortable on the floor, you can do a modified plank from your knees or a traditional plank from your toes. The key is to maintain that straight line from your head to your heels or knees, engaging your core by gently pulling your belly button toward your spine. Start with holding for just 10 to 15 seconds and gradually work up to longer holds as you build strength. Even 30 seconds of proper plank form provides tremendous benefit for stability and functional strength. If you feel any pain in your lower back during a plank, stop immediately. This often means you're letting your midsection sag. Remember to keep your body in a straight line and don't hold your breath. Breathing is essential during any exercise. For those with osteoporosis, the modified plank from knees is often the safest option, as it reduces pressure on the spine while still effectively engaging your core muscles. Remember those deep squats we talked about avoiding? Here's your safer, more functional alternative: the controlled chair stand. This exercise mimics one of the most important movements in daily life, standing up from a seated position. But by practicing it deliberately as an exercise, you build exactly the right muscles in exactly the right way. Start with a sturdy chair that doesn't roll or slide. Sit toward the front edge with your feet flat on the floor about hip width apart. Place your hands lightly on your thighs or on the sides of the chair for stability if needed. Now lean forward slightly from your hips. This is crucial for proper form, and slowly stand up, pushing through your heels. Once standing tall, pause and engage your core. Then, with control, lower yourself back to just touching the chair and stand again without fully sitting down. That's one repetition. The magic happens when you slow down this movement you normally rush through. Try taking 3 seconds to stand up, pause for 1 second, and 3 seconds to lower back down. This controlled tempo builds strength and helps your nervous system relearn proper movement patterns. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions and gradually build to 10 to 15 as your strength improves. Do this exercise 2 to 3 times per week, and I guarantee you'll notice the difference in everyday activities like getting up from restaurants, cars, and even the bathroom. For those with knee pain, you can adjust the height of your seat using pillows until you find a comfortable starting position. Then gradually lower the height as you build strength. Remember, some muscle fatigue is expected, but joint pain is not. Our third essential exercise addresses something vital that most workout programs completely ignore: balance training. Balance isn't just about preventing falls, though that's critically important. It's about maintaining your freedom and confidence to move through the world. We'll start with a simple but effective standing balance progression that you can do anywhere, anytime. Begin by standing near a counter or sturdy chair for safety. Stand tall with your feet hip width apart, engaging your core muscles. Simply lift one foot just an inch off the ground and hold for 10 to 30 seconds, then switch feet. This engages your stabilizing muscles and begins training your balance systems. As this becomes easier, progress to these variations. Stand with your feet closer together. Try a tandem stance, one foot directly in front of the other, like on a tightrope. Hold for longer periods. Try closing your eyes briefly, always with support nearby. The key is consistency. Even 2 to 3 minutes of balance work daily yields remarkable results over time. For those with diagnosed balance disorders or severe vertigo, please work with a physical therapist to develop a customized progression. And always have something sturdy to hold on to when practicing balance exercises. One of my patients, Margaret, who's now 83, started this balance progression after a minor fall scared her. After just 6 weeks of daily practice, she told me, "Dr. Williams, I realized yesterday that I put my pants on standing up without holding on to anything. I haven't been able to do that in years." These small victories translate to major improvements in quality of life and independence. That's why balance training isn't optional. It's essential. While the exercises I've recommended are safe for most seniors, it's important to recognize when your body is telling you something's wrong. Exercise should challenge you, but never cause sharp pain or leave you feeling worse afterward. Here are some warning signs that should prompt a conversation with your healthcare provider. Sharp, sudden pain during exercise, pain that persists more than 48 hours after activity, dizziness, lightheadedness, or unusual shortness of breath, chest pain or pressure, swelling in your joints that doesn't improve within a day, increasing weakness on one side of your body. Remember, some muscle soreness is normal when beginning a new exercise routine. That mild achiness that peaks about 24 to 48 hours after activity. But pain that interferes with daily activities or wakes you at night is different and deserves attention. I also strongly recommend having a regular checkup with your doctor before starting any new exercise program. Conditions like uncontrolled high blood pressure, certain heart conditions, or advanced osteoporosis may require specific exercise modifications. Many of my patients have benefited enormously from even a single session with a physical therapist who specializes in geriatric care. They can evaluate your specific needs and help you adapt exercises to your body's unique requirements. Medicare often covers these services, especially if you have a history of falls or balance issues. Don't wait until after a fall or injury to seek help. Prevention is always better than recovery. As we wrap up today's discussion, I want to emphasize something important. The goal isn't just to avoid injury, it's to thrive. The right exercises don't just prevent problems, They actively enhance your quality of life, independence, and joy. Let's recap what we've learned. Avoid traditional sit-ups, heavy overhead presses, and deep squats. Instead, focus on planks, controlled chair stands, and balance progression. Listen to your body and seek professional guidance when needed. If you incorporate just these 3 recommended exercises into your routine 2 to 3 times per week, you'll build a foundation of strength, stability, and confidence that supports everything else you want to do in life. I would love to hear how these exercises work for you. Drop a comment below with your experience or questions. And if you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about. Knowledge like this is too important to keep to ourselves. If you're new to the Healthy Aging Daily channel, I invite you to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We post new videos every week on topics like pain management, nutrition for longevity, sleep improvement, and so much more, all specifically designed for our unique needs as older adults. Next week, I'll be sharing 5 morning stretches to eliminate stiffness, perfect for starting your day with more mobility and less discomfort. These gentle movements take just 6 minutes, but can make a world of difference in how you feel all day long. You'll also want to check out our previous video on building bone density after 65, which perfectly complements today's exercise recommendations. I'll put a link in the description below. Until next time, this is Dr. Robert Williams reminding you that you don't have to accept limitations as inevitable. With the right knowledge and consistent practice, you can feel better tomorrow than you do today. Stay strong, stay safe, and keep moving forward. I'll see you in our next video.